Welcome once again to M5's new English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV screen to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well, let's learn English together. Well, hello there. Come in, come in. Come in and sit down. Well, it's your home, so you should sit down. Anyway, make yourself comfortable. Okay, are you comfortable now? Yes? Good. Well, welcome to today's lesson. We're all ready to go here, so if you're ready too, then we can start. Okay, now, what did we look at this week? Can you remember? That's right. This week, we looked at different things. We discovered that Alfredo was in the doghouse. We also learned that Alfredo had a cold because he fell asleep on a park bench after he left Gordon's flat. We heard all about Alfredo's New Year's Eve celebrations. Alfredo didn't celebrate with all his family, did he? No. Alfredo only celebrated with his brother-in-law, Gordon. Mary and the kids celebrated New Year's Eve without Alfredo. Mary was angry with Alfredo because he was with Gordon, not with her and the kids. Mary was so angry with Alfredo that she didn't speak to him for a couple of days. Alfredo was in the doghouse. Do you remember what in the doghouse means? That's right. It means that Alfredo did something bad, and now his wife is angry with him and isn't talking to him. This week, we also learned about adverbs, words we use to give information about verbs. We use adverbs to say how someone does something or how something happens. If I'm trying to be quiet, I open the door quietly, for example. When a spy is moving about, they try to move quietly, like a ninja. When a dog hears someone outside the door, they try to tell everyone. They bark, and normally they bark loudly. Okay, so we met some adverbs and we also learned how to make adverbs from adjectives. Normally, we add ly to the end of an adjective to turn it into an adverb, a word we can use to say how someone did something. If the adjective ends in y, we have to replace the y with ily. So, the adjective easy becomes the adverb easily, and the adjective slow becomes the adverb slowly. There are also a few odd words where the form is the same. The same word is the adjective and the adverb. There's no difference in spelling. Fast, for example, is one of these odd words. I can tell you about a fast car, and in this sentence, I'm talking about the car. I'm describing the car. I'm giving you information about a noun. So here, when I'm talking about a fast car, fast is an adjective. If I talk about how someone drives, if I tell you that my friend Lolly drives fast, then I'm talking about how Lolly does something. I'm describing the way that Lolly drives. I'm giving you information about a verb. So here, when I'm talking about Lolly driving fast, fast is an adverb. Some of the other words, like fast, where the adjective and the adverb are the same, are early, late, and hard. I can say that I'm early. It's an adjective. And I can say that I woke up early. It's an adverb. I can say that you're late. It's an adjective. And I can say that I went to bed late. It's an adverb. I can say that my job is very hard. It's an adjective. And I can say that you work very hard. It's an adverb. Okay, enough about adjectives and adverbs. It's time to find out what happened to Gordon, Mary's brother. The last time we heard about Gordon, Alfredo said that Gordon's phone was turned off. Now, finally, days after the New Year's Eve celebrations, Gordon's back. Dave Squid bumped into Gordon this morning. Hello, Gordon. How are you? Hello, Dave. I'm fine, thank you. How are you? I'm fine, thanks. Alfredo told me you had a party on New Year's Eve. Yes, a little party. Just me and Alfredo. We drank a lot in the pub, and then we went to my flat and we drank even more. Yes, Alfredo told me. He looked awful. He's got a cold and he had a hangover. Yes, I can imagine. I had a hangover too, and Alfredo drank more than I did. I fell asleep, and when I woke up, Alfredo wasn't there. Yes, Alfredo told me that too. He walked home. He stopped to sit down on a park bench and fell asleep. That's how he caught a cold. Oh, poor Alfredo. I bet he feels awful. He does. He had a hangover and then he caught a cold. Then, when he got home, Mary was angry with him. He was in the doghouse for a couple of days. Oh dear. It was pretty stupid of us. We went to the pub on New Year's Eve, and then we went to my flat. When did Alfredo get home? I think he got home at 5-ish. Oh dear. I can see why Mary was angry. Yes, but things are better now. Alfredo apologized to Mary and the children, and they forgave him. Now he's not in the doghouse anymore. Oh well, that's good news at least. What about you, Dave? What did you do on New Year's Eve? I was on duty. I worked on New Year's Eve. Oh, that's too bad. When did you go home? I finished my shift at 6 a.m. Then I walked home. Loretta was still in bed. Who? Who's Loretta? Loretta's my girlfriend, Gordon. Oh, so did Loretta do anything on New Year's Eve? No, she stayed in and watched TV. Then she went to bed. Well, I bet she didn't have a sore head the next morning. No, she didn't have a hangover. When I got home, I made breakfast and we celebrated with a glass of champagne. Oh, that's nice. Listen, Dave, I've got to go. I'm late for work and the hotel manager hates it when I'm late. Oh, okay, Gordon. It was nice to see you. Have fun at work. Bye. Bye, Dave. Also, we learned that Dave Squid worked on New Year's Eve. He said that his shift ended at 6 a.m. What do you think a shift is? Well, some people work from 9 to 5, but some people work in places where someone has to be there 24 hours a day. People who work in factories often work shifts. Normally, a shift is 8 hours. The 24-hour period is split into 3 8-hour shifts. The people who work are split into 3 groups. Group 1 start work at 6 a.m. and work until 2 p.m. Then they go home. Group 2 come to work at 2 p.m. and they work until 10 p.m. The second group go home at 10 p.m. and the third group come to work at 10 p.m. The third group work until 6 a.m. then they go home. Now, we also learned some new information about Gordon. we learned where he works. Gordon said that he was late for work and that the hotel manager hates when he's late for work. So now we know that Gordon works in a hotel and he's late. Now, someone who isn't late is our good friend Enid. And I think she's just doing her makeup now. Enid, are you ready? The stage is all yours. Take it away, Enid.
What ho, people? Hello, hello. It's me again, Enid. And I'm here with some more helpful examples of everyday English. Now, do you remember what we spoke about yesterday? That's right. We were talking about shopping, and we talked about being polite. Now, today I thought we should think about how Alfredo Benchfield felt after the party at Gordon's flat. Now, we know that Alfredo drank too much. He had a headache and a stomachache. He had a hangover. But he also had a cold. When he fell asleep on the park bench, he caught a cold. So, what other problems did Alfredo have? Well, we know that his head hurt. He had a headache. We know that his stomach hurt. He had a stomach ache. Because he had a cold, he probably had a sore throat and either a blocked nose or a runny nose. If you catch a cold, you normally have a sore throat and a blocked nose or a runny nose. If your nose is blocked, it's hard to breathe. And if you've got a runny nose, you can't stop the liquid running from your nose. You need lots and lots of tissues. Sometimes, if you've got a cold, you have a cough. And sometimes you sneeze a lot too. Sometimes you have a temperature. This means that your body is hotter than normal. Your body is fighting against infection and bacteria. If you're very ill, you might have a fever. So, that's what happens when you have a cold. If, like Alfredo, you drink too much, then the next day you have a hangover. Now, if you have a hangover, you are hungover. And when you're hungover, you normally have a headache. When you have a hangover, you feel ill, not well. This means that Alfredo was very unlucky. He caught a cold and then he had a hangover. So, now we learned some new words we can use when we are ill, when we are not well. We know that if our head hurts, we've got a headache. If our stomach hurts, we've got a stomach ache. If you've got a cold, then normally you cough, sneeze, and either you have a blocked nose or you have the opposite, a runny nose. If you're ill, you might have a fever or you might just have a temperature. And, oh, is that the time? I've got to go. I'll see you all later. Toodaloo, pip, pip, chitty bye.
Blimey, that was quick. Enid's disappeared. She vanished. Well, she might have disappeared, but she left us with lots of new, useful English vocabulary. And that's all the time we have for today's lesson. Yes, we're out of time. Well, I had fun today, listening to Gordon and Dave's conversation, and now we know that Gordon works in a hotel. I wonder what his job at the hotel is. Maybe we'll find out next lesson. Well, we'll see. Anyway, you have been watching me, Gav Duncan, on M5's English teaching program, Let's Speak English. Don't forget, you can also catch up with the other English lessons at www.m5tv.hu. As I said, I'm Gav Duncan. I'm not Björn Borg, and I'm not John McEnroe. I'm Gav Duncan, and I'll see you next lesson for some more English fun. See you later. Bye.